got back from a nice little fucking jog out in the wilderness, and it was amazing.
Nice. Must be, so we still got the freezing weather out here. You guys must have much nicer situation.
Tornadoes, actually.
Yeah, there was a tornado in the woods literally like 4 days ago. Kid you not.
For real.
It's
Jesus.
like unheard of in California.
Seriously, not exactly Tornado Alley there.
And it's one of those tornadoes that anybody from Ohio is going to be like, fucking pussy, that ain't a tornado. And it's like, well, yeah, I know it's not as extreme, but still, you don't see a fucking tornado in the mountains.
Yeah, like screw you and your F1.
You almost got,
Exactly.
you almost got Dorothy'd out there.
Yeah.
Dude, I literally did because I thought about where that tornado fucking landed. I'm like, man, I was like 10 minutes out from when that happened. I just had to go check the fucking post office to see if my Mass Effect game came in, and it was that important.
Right.
I just imagine you and Laura just going through the woods, just pouring rain, hailing, trees tipping over. Spencer, we'll get it tomorrow. Like, no. I gotta know if Shepard's sacrifice was worth it. I gotta know.
I'm going to Andromeda, damn it.
I remember there was a similar situation a long time ago when Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence came out.
That's Metal Gear Solid 3. That's different.
I remember fucking trudging through the fucking snow with like a bunch of friends from high school. And it's like, nope, gotta go check the mail. I know there's gonna be a snow day tomorrow. It's worth it. Get out there, fucking put those hubcaps on. We're sliding.
Right. You got tire chains.
Exactly. Like one of those ones you're like, I'm risking everyone's lives for my own entertainment tomorrow.
I think I was in the car when that happened.
I think so. I had a bunch of people. That's what I just remembered. It's like, probably half an hour later, you would never be able to make it into Twain Hart. Wouldn't be able to make it to the post office. Would have had a snow day with no Metal Gear.
Well, nowadays, you could just download straight to the console. You don't do that?
Well, this was PS2 days.
Well, I'm talking for Andromeda.
I buy the physical copy generally.
Rather have the disc?
Yeah, well, here, I'll explain this too. This is also a savings thing too. If you got Amazon Prime, they give you fucking 20% off when you pre-order a game. Plus, I have the Amazon card, so I get an extra 5% off. That makes it like $15 off. That's quite a bit of savings.
Well, you have your camera off, so for all I know, there could be a guy in an Amazon shirt with a gun to the back of your head.
I do have my camera off? What the motherfucker?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I think I just the door here, so hopefully that's Lou.
All right.
That's okay. We'll just have like a kind of pre-start, and then all of a sudden he'll like walk in and be like, hey, what's going on? It's like, hey!
Studio audience laugh track. Woo!
Yeah!
Like when the wacky neighbor, like when Kramer rolls in.
Yeah, he just kind of comes in, like frazzled, like you don't know what just happened.
Kramer before his stand-up comedy gig. Let's put it that way.
You racist Kramer. Back when he was hanging out with midgets and shit. Oh, there he is.
Hey, Lou.
Yo, dude! Even though he can't hear us probably because he doesn't have headphones on.
Get yourself settled.
It's like saying hello to like Helen Keller.
Sign to him. He'll hear you.
Okay, he's getting there. Okay, well, while we're doing this, I guess we can kind of go, hey, look we're at the Old Man Orange podcast, and we got special guests today from Paint and Black.
Right on.
So
we recording yet?
I'm
or
always
what?
recording.
Oh, yeah, we recording. His nickname's Mr. NSA. That's
So,
what I
yeah,
call
so
him.
just in case anybody's like, what the fuck is this show? I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan.
This is Pete and
Lou. And is Brian
Paint
joining
and
us
Black.
today? I'm not too sure.
sitting this out. It's a busy man. So pick up the slack for him.
I'd like to get him on at some other point, but good to have you two. But, like, yeah, man, we could. Okay.
Yeah, you don't need
We're just splitting up the Paint it Black, you know what I mean? Can't have too much at once, or it's overwhelming for some people, I guess.
dividing.
So, we wanted to get you guys on our show for a while. The big thing that stopped us was just, not going to lie, just technical difficulty with internet and just Skype and all that kind of stuff. But lately, the Skype gods, except a few weeks ago for me, have been blessing us. So, luckily.
Yeah. Skype is the bane of my existence.
Yeah.
In the podcast.
It really is what makes me kind of go, sometimes I go, like, whenever we have, like, a couple weeks in a row where, like, the internet's kind of shitty and everything's not working out, I was like, I don't know about getting a guest. I just don't want to have somebody come on and just have it be so fucking jittery and shitty. And you add that extra person, it's going to, like, make the internet even worse to handle.
Yeah. The amount of guests we've had on that, the recording the average 2-hour episode has run closer to 3-4 hours. And then poor Lou having to edit it down because of all the Skype cuts.
Right.
Does he have the problem of, like, the drifting?
A little bit. We get that all the time. Lately, it's been knock on wood. It's been all
Because the
right.
drifting is what I
Yeah,
always notice, and I always kind of wonder if our microphones aren't at the same hertz going on. Because that a lot of times is what causes drift. If somebody's at 48 and somebody's at 44, if it's a 10-minute conversation, you'll never notice it. But like past an hour, that's mostly when it starts to kind of get off.
I noticed the hour and a half marks where you really got to be on your game.
Because then it starts getting crazy, and then you're like, up, here comes the editing cycle. But sometimes it's one of those ones like entire episode 3 hours long, perfect. And then there's ones like it's an hour and 15 minutes, and it's fucked from the beginning.
Right. So if the internet gods smile upon you for that day.
Exactly.
Did we all kill a goat on our way here at least?
I hit one with my car, but I
There
didn't
you go.
stop to see if it was dead.
I kicked a tree branch, fucking Bruce
Hey.
Lee style.
Hoping to like just break it like Ryu or some shit.
Exactly. I saw it there. I was like, it's on the ground. It's like this was like perfect kicking level. That was
Give
my
you a hurricane
advice.
kick.
Next, you'll be attacking some random stranger's car.
Exactly.
Right. Jump in the parking lot, get some bonus points.
Exactly. So
I don't know where to
banish
find
it.
barrels, or I'd kick some barrels too. But
That too.
Like
Where's
Donkey
barrels?
Kong fucking kicking barrels at other people coming like down the street.
I think that's the biggest lie video games have taught us is the abundance of red barrels everywhere
And then just food on the floor.
and floor food. Yeah,
And then you just pick it up.
that makes you healthy.
Good as new.
It doesn't matter what you eat too. It's all good for your health in video games.
No lie, at my job the other day, because I work at like basically I rent bikes for my day job, and it's a lot of tourism stuff. I have to go over maps, tell people where to go in the city, and all that kind of stuff. I work in the Haight-Ashbury area. One guy just literally left a red, like metal tin, like trash can on the side of Haight Street, and I was immediately like, "Don't go near it. Someone could shoot it. It'll explode." Just my initial like gut reaction was like, "Don't go that way. Go around the can. Go down Cole Street, down this way. Take a left."
Yeah, you walk away from that explosion. Guy with a barcode tattooed on his head is like eyeballing you.
Can't trust those guys either. See, and then next thing you know, you'll find like a candy bar on the ground. You're like, oh, this will give me full health.
Exactly, or a full roast chicken.
I was about to say, yeah, that one.
Yeah, it
Or
was a
cheap-
random wall chicken.
Or a cheeseburger under a trash can, maybe. Yeah.
Like, who's going around hiding fucking ninja swords and rotisserie chickens in these goddamn barrels?
I don't know about you, but every time I find a full pizza on the ground, I can't stop just spinning around.
It's a deep cut.
I love Ninja
Yeah,
Turtles so much.
That's old school. I wonder if anybody gets that joke anymore.
You know, well, because I always kind of wonder that too. Like sometimes when I see children that are like 10 years old, I always want to like ask them like, do you still play like a PlayStation 1 and a fucking Super Nintendo, or is that not as cool as it once was to be retro?
Well, like my girlfriend's a couple years younger than me, and half the shit that comes out of my mouth, she just looks at me blankly. And she likes video games, but she just cannot fathom anything before 1990. So it's if I don't reference N64 and up, completely lost, no interest whatsoever.
Wait, there's a Mario before Mario 64? Like that kind of shit?
You don't get it. It used to be like you just moved to the right. That's all
Yeah.
you could.
Right and left.
It's all you needed. Yeah, it threw you off when you had to go left. That was the one. It's like, oh, what the fuck? I'm going left now.
Yeah, it's blowing my mind, man.
Well, it's that kind of thing that I'm glad that we grew up at a time period where we literally could, start from the day one in a sense. Even though, yeah, obviously Pong and Space War and a lot of those things came out before we were born, but I just remember that was like what was sitting at people's houses anyways, and you'd play and you'd be like, dude, that's the fucking coolest thing ever. And then next thing you know, somebody's like, here's a Sega Genesis. You're like, wow! It like fucking blew your mind, And I feel like I got great appreciation for all the Atari stuff because I played that before I even played, even though I guess Genesis and Super Nintendo were just coming right out, but I was played that beforehand so I could build my way up and see everything. And I was excited about it. If I saw it on television, I was fucking ecstatic about that stuff, or anything old. But I think some kids nowadays, they just kind of look at like fucking PlayStation 1. What was that? Like the Great Depression? And you're like, no, actually, it was like a Renaissance period. What are you fucking talking about?
Crash who? What the fuck's a Bandicoot?
We didn't know either until we played
Is that like a Sonic OC?
Like, is that the Cheeto guy?
Yeah.
You got the
I
fucking
actually-
Chester Cheeto game going.
This one time I was at Fisherman's Wharf with this one co-worker of mine, and they're always playing, just like top 40 type music on there. Every so often they'll play a little bit of an older song. And they're playing a song off of Green Day's American Idiot. I don't remember which one, but it was just one of them. And this girl is a bit younger than me. And she, just to clarify, legal. I worked with her. But anyway, so.
Is it illegal?
Yeah.
I'll make it legal.
Call back to everyone's favorite. No. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So I'm like, man, this reminds me of high school. She pauses and she looks at me like, what do you mean this reminds you of high school? I'm like, well, this song came out my senior year of high school. She looks at me, she's like, oh damn. Then she just pauses. She like, were you sad when Kurt Cobain died? I was like 4, but
I thought that O.J. Simpson killed him, but I was just kind of mashing together what I heard on the news.
Yeah. Seriously. I get that all the time with my lady. It's just she'll constantly be like, oh, I like this song. It came out when I was a kid. I'm like, yeah, I graduated high school.
Yeah.
That was college for me. It's like you were 6.
Well, it's this weird thing, and I think it's about being kind of on like the cutting end of one generation, because I realize that I can relate better to somebody who's like 46 years old than somebody who's like 22. It's such a weird thing, and this is how I've kind of determined it. It's based on people that were born before the computer was in the home and people that were born, after the computer was already in the house. I feel that's like the biggest thing that makes this like generation gap. And everybody I know, nobody had a fucking computer until they were like 10, 12, something, You had to go to school to find that stuff, or a library.
Yeah, if you ever had an AOL boot up disc that you got from a Tower Record somewhere that gave you like 90 free minutes, you're of a generation prior to the current one.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, even that too is like anybody who had that was probably the rich kid that you had to go over to his house to fucking find N64 codes on the internet. You're like, dude, they just put you don't even need tips and tricks, man. Somebody's already put it up on here.
Yeah, this guy's got like GoldenEye and like 4 controllers.
Fuck Game Genie.
Yeah, GoldenEye and 4 controllers. He's fucking rich. He's loaded, man. I got a Sega Genesis and I got one 6-button controller and one 3-button.
Yeah, and the B button sticks.
Yeah, exactly. Don't ask.
I had my cousin's kid one time. He didn't know about the Super Mario Brothers movie, and I might get shit for. Oh yeah, I got to see it. Just so you know, you probably already know this. We both love the movie.
I love the fuck out of that movie.
unironically, and I was showing that to like my nephew's, my cousin's kid one time, and the kid's watching the movie just like dumbfounded, just like, wait, there's a Mario Brothers movie? Like, yeah, here it is. And then he's watching like, when did this come out? I was probably about your age. And then he looks at me, he's just like, this movie must be old. Like, yeah, fuck you, go to bed.
Yeah. See, that always reminds me, like, I like that story too, where when I was working as a lifeguard back in the day, and I'd have all these kind of kids there, and this one kid comes up to me and he goes, Spencer, what was PlayStation 1 like? Almost like asking Grandpa, like, Grandpa, what was World War II like? Oh, Sonny, let me tell you, they had the blocky graphics, but they were good enough. They were good enough, and you always assumed you were going to see tits at some point in Tomb Raider. Never fucking happened, but you believed, damn it, believe.
We were grateful.
You see those pointy things on Lara Croft's chest? We used to like that. It's the best we got.
That was amazing graphics. You couldn't tell the difference between that and real life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, seriously.
You couldn't tell the difference between that and real life. I kid you not. Like, you saw a 64, you're like, we're fucking there, dude. Virtual reality's one step away. We're fucking in it.
I remember playing N64 and being like, I don't know how much better it can get than this. This is great.
Or my favorite one was always the Sega CD. Sega CD was the one that I was like, dude, this is literally like being in the movies. And then it's funny, you like came back to it 10 years later and you're like, whoa, it's like 240 resolution. Like, none of this looks like you're even in the movies. Like, but at that time period, man, 1993, it was going to blow your fucking mind.
Now you watch it and you're like, damn, Minecraft is less blocky than this shit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, some of those ones too, it's like, I can't even tell what the fuck's going on anymore. Like, oh, I'm supposed to click on that blocky object, not that other, like, out of focus thing.
Like Night Trap.
Well,
oh, yeah, good ones.
Like the ones where it's almost just kind of like a cutscene. You just have to push buttons to make the cutscene continue, kind of like pre-Onimusha.
That's pretty much like what...
I mean, Shenmue.
Shenmue, yeah.
The other super Japanese name.
But I remember my favorite game back in the day on the PC was, I think it was Rogue Squadron? Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Squadron? Was it Rogue Squadron, Rebel Assault, something like that?
Well, there's a lot. Okay, Rebel Assault. See, Rogue Squadron was also the one that came out on N64 as well.
Yeah, that might be what I'm getting confused about.
And that one was 99. Now, if it was pre-99, you might be thinking of Rebel Assault or TIE Fighter or X-Wing. There was a handful of flying ones all on there.
I think it was Rebel Assault. It was the on-rails shooter.
Yeah.
And just click the targets kind of game, but it had video from the movie, and it blew my mind. And now even back then it was like, this is a little blocky. Now I bet if I go back and watch it, it's like, oh, it's like the Lego movie.
Yeah, so some of those ones, like strange enough, lots of times whenever I go back to certain games, I feel they actually, for the most part, hold up because of the way, whenever they were made, they were kind of made in the parameters that they had, which sometimes still work. It's kind of like how you can go back and play pretty much almost any first-person shooter, and they never really degrade too much, because it's like, well, at this time, it's like I didn't need a fucking run button, and maybe I didn't even need to jump, or, even reload.
Didn't have to aim up in the case of...
Yeah, the game automatically aimed up for me if there was a fucking demon above my head.
Right. I hated that in Doom. It was like the guy on the second floor. God damn it.
It's like, okay, line it up, click, click, click. Damn, okay, finally they started hitting him.
This game's hard enough. IDDQD. We're good.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually was one of those kids that missed out on Doom. I was seeing other kids play it, but I was just one of those kids like, oh, it looks violent. Yeah.
I had a friend, he had a Windows 3.1. It was the fucking shit back in the day. And like it had Doom and Wolfenstein, and there was a game that came out even before Wolfenstein. People always think Wolfenstein's the first-person shooter, but did you ever play Catacombs?
No, never played that one.
It's made by the same people as Doom and Wolfenstein, but instead you're like this kind of mage guy, and you got this ring on that shoots out magic powers, and you fight demons and things like that, and you're walking. Looks just like Wolfenstein, but you're walking through castles and things like that, which I guess Wolfenstein's a castle too.
Like, remember Heretic? Was it like Heretic?
Yeah, it was like an earlier version of that sort of. And
that was another one that I was kind of obsessed with. Nowadays, it's fun to look back. I was big into Doom like middle school. Like that was the game. And me and my friend had the level builder and everything. And nowadays we'd be arrested because we just make maps that look like our school. Now, all innocent fun. Like, what if our high school was invaded by demons? Now we'd be like arrested as Columbine conspirators.
Right.
Well, the weird thing too is everybody sort of did that before Columbine, and it was not. Realistically, in 99% of people's minds, it was not a big deal whatsoever.
No, it's just a place we knew the layout of.
Like, this is Mr. Foster's class. This is
I'm gonna put a cyber demon in there because he's a bastard.
This is the thing. When I was a kid, we were obsessed with Red Alert. So, and being like fucking, children in like 3rd and 4th grade being super obsessed with Red Alert, we would have like Soviet signs on all kinds of our things. And we used to do this thing, we called it battle plans. And we would take 2 pieces of paper. Like I would draw on one and my buddy would draw on the other. We would just draw tanks and missiles and troops and all kinds of stuff. And then you'd connect them together and you'd battle it out fucking almost like turn-based style and things like that. But then we would also take like the newspapers that came in. There's like the school report. This is what's for breakfast. This is Little Jimmy. And then we'd cross things out and then like make it funny. Like Little Jimmy got, killed today. He was electrocuted by like eels. And I remember the teacher just found a stack of our battle plans and those things and the Soviet signs and everything like that. It was just like,
there also just happens to be a Marilyn Manson CD in there.
This would have been like pre even listening to music. This would have been the time period where the only like soundtrack you would have had would be like a movie soundtrack, like fucking Space Jam and like the random assortment of like movie monster themes.
It, for whatever reason, reminds me of why I got kicked out of church when I was 8. We had these like religion instruction classes, and on the little pamphlets they would give you, like do all the little exercises of why Jesus is awesome. And it said, create a movie poster for a movie about Jesus set in the modern day. I drew a jacked up Jesus with an assault rifle saying, "Suck it, Judas." And said, "Jesus must escape the electric cross in the year 2029.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing. See, that sounds badass, but for some reason you get in trouble for those kind of things.
He has come back with a vengeance.
Resurrect this.
You get like Kurt Russell or something.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
Like
Yeah.
Rambo ain't got nothing on Jesus.
Right. I want full-on mutton chop Kurt Russell to play Jesus.
You're like, Cheesebo.
Cheesebo.
I would see that movie.
It ain't Cheesebo.
And on the 3rd day, he kicked some ass.
Right.
He's got like a fucking guitar in one hand, like in the trailer. Like, what? Where's that part of the guitar? I don't know, but it's gonna be badass.
He's riding on top of a truck like Mad Max.
Or it's like he's playing the guitar, or it's like the credits or something. Like it's almost like the end of Roadhouse, where you see the dude playing guitar as the credits are rolling.
I was always even thinking too, like Kurt Russell at the end of 3,000 Miles to Graceland, where he's like fucking dancing and singing the Elvis songs, but it's like Jesus instead, like playing guitar. doing a solo, fucking, Iron
Oh,
Maiden.
it has to be
style.
Iron Maiden. I was gonna say he has to be singing Iron Maiden covers.
On that
That'd
note,
be
you guys
fucking
ever see a movie called Six String Samurai?
I've heard about it.
Yeah, I have too, but I don't think I've seen it.
From years ago. It's probably like 20 years old now. It was like my favorite schlocky kung fu movie back in the day. It was about Buddy Holly in a post-apocalyptic wasteland has to get to Vegas to claim the throne of the king of rock and roll. And he has to have ninja fight with Slash from Guns N' Roses.
How the fuck did I not see this or know about this?
It's
Yeah,
fucking
dude,
amazing.
I thought this was for some reason like a samurai type movie, and I was like, okay, it sounds badass, but now this feels like, what the fuck have I been missing out on?
Well, it is a samurai movie. It just so happens that Buddy Holly is the samurai.
Is a samurai. I didn't realize that. It's like, that'd be awesome. It was like, who's it played by? Is it a Japanese guy, or is it like Gary Busey comes back?
It's some no-name guy who kind of looks like Busey's version. Not like a Japanese guy or anything, but it's fucking banana wacky.
Even if it was a Japanese Buddy Holly, that'd be fucking amazing. Like, just some Japanese guy, but he's got like this blonde like wig on and everything.
How to make it better.
Nobody refers to him as Japanese. They all just refer to him like, oh, you're real white.
Yeah. Hey, Buddy Holly, you look different.
That sounds
Yes, very
I
much
fucking
so.
have to look for that movie. Like, when we're done with this. That sounds so fucking badass. I already like Buddy Holly as is, and I love fucking samurais. You're combining like things I love all in one.
Yeah, it put Buddy Holly in like Mad Max world and give him a sword. It's great.
So,
That sounds like it was made for me right there.
You ever
what
see
year
that
do
one,
you
Lynn?
think? Was this a 90s movie is what you're thinking? Or 80s?
I'm thinking early 2000s.
Oh, okay. So, all right. I guess that is almost 20 years. When
Don't
you say
remind
20
me.
years, I'm like, like 1989 or something. It's like, oh, yeah, that's a little bit longer ago than that.
Matrix
Yeah,
is almost 20 years old. Shit.
God
Now they're
damn it.
going to reboot it.
Yeah,
That's-
I know. I heard about that.
I heard
I know,
one
I-
thing, though. They said that it might be a prequel.
What are you gonna say, Lou? Sorry.
Like, I heard it's not a reboot or a remake or anything like that.
It's a continuation.
Right.
What I heard was young Morpheus,
Yeah, that's the one I heard.
and I don't want that.
Right.
I don't need young Morpheus. Maybe I think they should do the. I don't know how you guys feel about this. I think you guys liked it from the episode I heard. I think you should just go like Force Awakens with it, where it's kind of like you don't really. I mean, you could if you know all the previous movies, it means that much more to you. But you don't need to see the previous ones to know what's going on.
Make it a
Yeah,
good jumping on point.
Yeah.
Frankly, I think the whole thing is. I mean, look at the Matrix, the original movies. There's only one good one of that three. I don't know how you guys feel, but I think the second.
We love all three of them, and me and Dunigan have talked about it at length before in the podcast. And I kid you not, the second one's my favorite one.
Really, second one.
Holy shit.
Second one. I've seen that movie a couple times. I still don't know what's going on.
Right.
I guess my thing with it is, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The first one is my favorite. I kind of there's some things about it that I'm not gonna lie. The dialogue is very clunky when they just have like conversations about ergo, say proxy, da da da, all that architect shit. That's all very clunky and all that. But I don't know. I guess there's just more good to me than bad to me. The first one's a masterpiece. 2 and 3 are still fun movies. I still enjoy them, and I can kind of. I guess it's one of those things. I appreciate them for like just. They take them the swing. They're trying to get all this high concept shit in there, and it's like it's hard to do. So I kind of get that. I almost kind of appreciate the effort more than the actual end product.
Well, to me, the strength of the original, the first movie, when that came out in '99, and I was going to the theater to see it, is the commercials told you nothing about the movie. The slogan was, "What is the Matrix?"
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Nobody had any idea. So by the time you saw the movie, you're like, "What is happening here?" And that's what, to me, why the second and third weren't as good, was they were trying to kind of replicate that mystery and keep things weird. And now if you reboot it or do another one, there's no mystery. You know exactly what's happening.
I guess Neo returns, and I could see the whole subplot being there's a new one because the whole thing is the one is like there's more than one. There's more than one, I guess, and I guess it'd probably be the new one. They're trying to bring Neo back or something. It's probably something like that if I had to guess.
Well, they did something selling about Keanu coming back, so.
Oh, God. Well, he hasn't aged a day. He could do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like him and Tom Cruise just like go into like a vat every night and fucking come back out. It's like, like a Lazarus pit, fucking Rachel
If
Gould
it
style.
starts off and Agent Smith just kills his puppy and he just goes nuts, I'll watch it. Go John Wick on it.
I do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Low concept.
I could do a lot less just old dudes being like really important. Like old Japanese man is the keymaster. Just some dick, just a janitor. They're dragging him around. Like, come on. old black lady. Oh, she's the wise
She's
one.
the mystical oracle.
Like, I guess. Like,
It's like, I don't know, old people and computers mostly don't go hand in hand.
right. And they're still to the Matrix, right?
You think they would have programmed to make him look like, yeah, dude, I'm old. I don't age a day over 22. I can do kung fu, all this shit.
These computers are racist.
Yeah.
They're just doing
They're typecasting.
Well, I'll say this, even if it is like a Morpheus prequel, I'd rather have that than a reboot. I'll say that.
Yeah, I agree there. But I'm done with prequels, to be honest, because, I mean, where are you going to go with it? You know what's going to happen. Like, anybody who's in the movie is dead by the time the new ones start. Like, you know where Morpheus ends up.
That's true. You definitely gonna know what's going on there, but I don't know. I just would rather take that than, because I just feel like a reboot. It's like, dude, that movie's not that old. Now I know that, like, when you look at it, it's like, okay, it's almost 18 years old by now, but that's still not old enough, I feel, for remake status. Like, at least wait 30 years before you even consider that option.
I was gonna say, what remakes have actually been all that great? Or there's not many.
I'll point out some that I think over the years. I think the Halloween remake by Rob Zombie, I like that one.
The first one.
The original one. Yeah, the first one. Because I thought that, one, it adds all this extra story elements to it. I think the pacing's even better because, I mean, I'm going to give credit for because I like John Carpenter so much, but in like 1978, that's kind of breaking new ice right there, coming into fresh territory. But at the same time, nothing fucking happens in that movie for like an hour and 10 minutes. It's like literally you're like waiting. Like, come on. Okay, we're just going to watch Jamie Lee Curtis walk around town.
I really love the first hour of that Rob Zombie one, actually. Him in the asylum and everything with the pumpkin mask.
I think so too. And so I think that's one of those ones where like that's a perfect one. And plus I think that's long enough. 1978 to like what, 2008 or whatever it was.
Probably around there.
Yeah, 2006 maybe, I can't remember, but that's enough time, you know. And then there's some other ones too, like the Magnificent Seven that just recently came out. Like that one, that's been long enough. That's been over 50 years. So I feel like, hey, okay, it's never going to take away from the old one. And Magnificent Seven's already technically a remake. So that's fine because it's been so long. You can kind of put some new actors in it. You know, you could up the action a bit. And I think that works as well, too. But there's some movies, too. It's like you take something like, I mean, I still haven't even seen it, but there's a Point Break remake. It's like, why? That movie's not even that old.
That looks so fucking bad, dude. It looks so bad.
I've heard nothing good about it.
I think it's trying to do a Triple X thing.
Yeah, the Extreme Sports had their time and place.
Yeah, you know, it's like that Point Break movie. That's one of my favorite movies of all time, the original one. But it represents like you know that early '90s, late '80s time period super well. So it's like no matter what you go back to that, it's like you got a little time capsule, like in a good way. And once again, I just don't think that's that old. You know what I mean? Like wait a while, wait till a movie is like 40, 50 years old, where it's kind of like okay, you know, remake it. You know, only the people that are film buffs are the ones that remember it.
Right. Which, that actually leads me to an interesting question about the Matrix thing. I've been thinking about this. And so the movie premise is it's the dystopian future where everyone's underground and the computers plug them into the Matrix, which is the idealized human world of 1999. If they do a new one, are we going to do 1999 again? Or is that going to be... Or all of a sudden have they updated the computers to look like 2017?
See, I would hope it stays 1999. I like when a movie can just say, fuck, we're going to stay where we are. Almost like how Tron 2 kind of like kept that sort of like old Tron look. And then it's not like it changed a whole lot. We're still going to keep the similar Tron look. I mean, it could be 2017, but like keep it like, hey, in the computer, this section has kind of stayed its look.
Yeah, it'd be weird if it was 2017 and they were running around looking for a phone booth to get out.
I guess it's a good point. They just put like a smartphone or something like that to get out of there. It's a good point.
Yeah, they got an escape plan in their pocket.
Yeah, because we know it's like you ran around looking for a phone booth. You're never going to find it because they ripped them all out. And then you'd find that one, you're like, here, I found a phone booth. And you'd open it up and there'd be nothing in there. It'd be like, no, it's all gone. There's no telephone.
Just homeless guy shit?
Yeah, just a bum.
Like, my home! My home!
Then he turns into Agent Smith and kills you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I think we just wrote a scene from this thing.
How it opens.
Yeah, that's the opening.
Just some random guy dies at the beginning. It's like, why does this movie start out like a slasher film? I don't know, but that's just how it's going. It's the Agent Smith slasher film.
I guess that is a question. I guess maybe you have to almost like maybe it's just like they don't even go into the Matrix for a little while because it's all like it's set in the world that it is at the end of Revolutions or whatever. So I'm wondering what it would be, because I didn't even think what the phone booth thing. That's a very good point. So
there's some things you got to update.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
like I don't think Matrix time, when you're in the Matrix, time doesn't really move as it would. So it's not like the world of the Matrix is going to keep aging to 2017 and have the technology of now.
Mhm.
It's going to stay the same kind of. At least I think. I don't know.
Mhm.
Like I said, those last two movies.
What they should do, it's like, because that was almost like something I had to give credit for till Underworld 5, is it fucking kept that 2002 look. Like, nothing fucking changed. Cause that's what I like about when I watched that trailer. I just put a smile on my face. It's like, there was a period where you would have not thought anything of it, but then you're like, holy fuck, that looks as 2000s as could be on there. It's like, you know, when you watch the movie, it's pretty much the same thing as any other Underworld. Not saying it's bad, but not saying it was like breaking new ground. But I just think I like how they kept it like, this is like how you remember it. It's going to stay the same. We ain't going to change for you. This ain't 2017. We're doing it 2003 style.
Still the same soundtrack, like Perfect Circle, Breaking Benjamin, all that shit.
I was going to say Drowning Pool
Gotta have
still
Drowning
on the
Pool.
soundtrack.
Don't have a 2000s movie without Drowning Pool.
You guys ready to let the body?
Because nobody else knows what else Drowning Pool has. Can you name a Drowning Pool
That's
song
about
other
it.
than that song?
I remember when the song they did for Daredevil. I don't know the name of it though.
But it died like, right after that.
Yeah,
What was that?
That guy died. That's why they had so much trouble after that. And then they tried to
Oh,
get
okay.
some fat dickhead to take over. And it just
So
People
it's
weren't-
his body that hit the floor then. Okay.
yeah, recycling that.
It was
It's all
autobiographical.
starting to make sense to me now. And that's why the record company just kept putting out that song on everybody's movie, because they're like, fuck it. They don't got a band anymore. We got to make some money off these boys.
Well, I
Yeah,
remember.
we.
Oh, go ahead, Pete. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm good. Go ahead.
I remember when like YouTube was still in its infancy, and this is like well past like 2001, but I remember like every single like if I was like, oh, anime fan made videos, like every other one was shitty compressed video files, and it was either Linkin Park or Drowning Pool, Bodies Hit the Floor. Every single fan made music video was that.
I remember those. If you really ever wanted to see like Dragon Ball Z set to Drowning Pool, they were in abundance.
Yeah, or that one Linkin Park song, "Crawling In." It's like everything. It could just be like a video of two dickheads fighting with cardboard swords.
And for some reason, it's Vegeta flying around.
Yeah,
They show a part where like the part when the song gets very emotional and like he's all like being in my mother, na 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 na. Show a part with Vegeta like cringing and like fist clenched, like you know, it's like it's so
Right.
emotional.
See, that's
They
what
still do that. I went down a YouTube rabbit hole of just like I got into Attack on Titan not too long ago, and I was just like watching YouTube videos on, and then sure enough, ran into anime music videos. Now it's just songs I don't recognize doing the exact same thing.
Remember there was like a few months ago. Oh, did I cut you off, Lou?
I was just saying, like, we're talking about YouTube. That made me feel really old thinking about all that shit. Like, everything I used to watch is like 20, 25 years old. And also, it's really bad now. I thought it was very funny back then.
Like, give me an example.
I used to watch this. I think that, for instance, the Strong Bad guy. I used to think he was so funny.
Oh, like Homestar Runner.
Like, that stuff is awful.
The guy with the mask, like in the Oh, okay. I know you're talking about. Yeah.
And I used to watch these like knockoff Super Mario videos where the whole shtick was like the two guys would say everything with like that Rick and Morty episode where they're Shlanta, like they said everything like that. I was like, this is awful. Like, why the fuck did I think this was funny?
That was funny because I caught I watched the episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000, and I hadn't seen that show in a long time. But I remember in the 90s, that was like, oh my God, this show's fucking amazing. These guys are hilarious. And that show is really like the internet before the internet when you really think about it at the end of the day.
It's so funny you mentioned it. I just watched one this morning.
And it was one of those ones like, because I remember in that show, when you had to watch it on TV on Sci-Fi, it took like 4 to 5 hours to watch, because not only is the episode's like an hour and a half to 2 hours long, then you probably have about an hour and a half to 2 hours of commercials. So it would take forever to get through one. And you know, it's one of those ones like I threw it on. It's kind of like you almost forget like how kind of goofy and corny the show is. And then, you know, there is still some funny jokes in there. Not saying that, but kind of like the first you're like, oh yeah. It holds up, but definitely was a time. And then I remember seeing like, oh fuck, 1992. I was like, God, I didn't even realize the show was even that old.
Oh yeah, I used to record it on VHS.
Yeah, I remember those.
Well, I think that with that show, it's like hit or miss. There's either a really good episode or a really bad one.
Well,
You got to find the gems, but they're
Yeah.
still good.
I watched Manos Hands of Fate today.
That's
the
a great
I
one.
watched
That was
too.
a really good one.
I turned it on and I was like, oh, the
Was that the
Manos
one-
episode. Yeah, I remember this. And the thing is like, yeah, there is some funny stuff in there for sure. But I always kind of wondered how those guys went about making it. Did they just do it in one take like you almost would nowadays? Or I wonder if they kind of like thought it out a little bit more.
No, they definitely think it out, because if you watch riff tracks now, you can see they're flipping through these pages and pages of notes.
Yeah, you guys know Riff Tracks?
Yeah,
I
it's
know
kinda
of
like
it. I never
the
watched
sequel,
it,
I
though.
guess you could say.
So Riff Tracks. Yeah, they do modern movies. They do current stuff, and you download the audio track and play it along. And they do live events that you could see in a theater, like a Fathom event kind of thing. And we've seen a ton of them.
Yeah.
And they go on stage and they have their scripts all laid out, and they follow they got like time stamps and everything for what they say. So you kind of get a sense that they've rehearsed this. to
Oh,
death.
well, that's interesting to think, because I always kind of wondered that too. I'm like, I wonder if they do that, or do they just do it like almost like how you would do it nowadays for a podcast, where you'd watch the movie once, get that movie in your head, and then fucking riff it from that point on.
No, I've
But then again, if you do it that way, you'd probably end up going like, fuck. Oh, damn, I can't say fuck on sci-fi.
I heard an interview with the new guy who's doing like the new episodes of Mystery Science Theater, and he was talking about the writing process, saying like the one thing you think, great, I'm gonna do Mystery Science Theater. This is gonna be like my life's goal come true, and he goes, not so. It's a little rougher when you have to watch these goddamn movies 30 times in a row to write for them.
Isn't that one of the guys from The Nerdist?
Yeah, it's Jonah Ray,
John Ray?
but
Huh, that's interesting. But or go ahead.
I wouldn't necessarily want the job if I knew I had to watch Birdemic 40 times.
I guess it's one of those things that for a second it seems really cool, just because like, oh yeah, it'll be funny, because I remember there was like Spencer and I talked about this one time, because every once in a while we'll do like an audio commentary on just a random ass movie, and we did one for Mario Brothers. But before that, though, we were talking about maybe we should do one for Digimon, because it's so bad. It's it's such a bad cheesy ass movie. It's so out of left field to be funny. So then we watch it for the first time, watching it in many years, and like, this is not fun. And like we just both felt so defeated just watching it. Like, how are we gonna make this work? I don't have the energy. This is like draining my life watching this right now. Fuck this. Let's just do Mario Brothers. We both like that movie.
Well, the weird thing, too, is it's like, dude, I saw this movie in theaters. There was a period of my time in life where fucking Digimon was the shit. And I was into Digimon before even Pokemon came out. That's like, because it got 1 year advance over Pokemon. Everybody thinks Digimon's the ripoff, and maybe in Japan that's the case. But in the U.S., the Digimon Little Toys came out in 97, so they had that like extra year on them. And I just remember I was watching that movie, and I was like, dude, I feel like a father taking his kid to watch an anime movie and being so lost. But the worst part is I was here when this came out. Like, why am I lost? I should know what's going on.
I didn't even know there was a Digimon movie.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this would have been like, I think, 99 or 2000.
Yeah, I was a little old for it, I guess, but I remember the TV show.
Yeah, and then didn't it just like disappear?
It's still around. My nephew watches it. Maybe not the same incarnation.
It's actually
So
still pretty darn popular. Too.
Yeah, I heard about people still liking it, and I'm like, did they find this in a time capsule?
These things with the new Power Rangers, they're like, and the show is still running. You're like, that show? That show's still on?
That show was gay as fuck.
I kind of liked Power Rangers in the early days.
In the early days, and now if you try to watch it, especially the newer ones,
Oh, Power Rangers,
It
Mega Force
is
Neo,
fucking
Dragon
ridiculous.
Squad. Or,
they've all got flip phones, and they're dialing the number Zordon and shit.
when they dial, it goes doo 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 doo.
Right, and then they got like these two, like this fat guy and this skinny guy.
Bulk and
that
Skull?
just get into. They might be.
Are Bulk and Skull still around?
I think so. And then
Well, if they were, it'd be funny if they were still in. It's like these guys have actually never graduated.
they look old, and then they're getting into hijinks where they're using the old cartoon sound effects, like
That's Bulk and Skull for
and,
sure.
and I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
That was always the takeaway of that show for me. It was like
Yeah.
kung fu fights that were clearly filmed in Japan,
Yeah.
cut to slapstick pie gag with
Right.
the fat guy.
And then so they said the movie's coming out, and I'm like, and they said, oh, it's not going to be super adult like that fan film.
Right.
And I'm like, is it going to be like this where these guys are hitting each other's pies
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
and just
whoop,
fucking like winking each other in the eyes? Like, what the fuck?
whoop. Right.
It's like the Three Stooges meets Power Rangers. Like one of those ones, like the old timey kind of things, or Laurel and Hardy fucking meet the Power Rangers.
I didn't know I was catching vaudeville in the theater today.
Right. I would actually like it a lot more if it were like super old timey. It would like audio cards where you just have to read it.
Right. They're
Silent movie.
Like a Charlie Chaplin
They
film.
Like when the Megazords pop up, it's like just the ragtime piano. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Just like these like really hokey ass puppets just pop up. Like, oh no, the Megazord.
Yeah, one of their Zords is just one of those bikes with the one big tire in the front.
Another one is a guy on stilts.
Yeah. Another guy with dumbbells with the round weights on the end.
Right.
Yeah, the old fashioned one.
And the film ends, it's just like, bye, Moxie.
Yeah.
Like this was an ad the whole time.
Sorry, Rita Repulsa, you got moxie. You got spunk, kid. I admire it.
Well, it's like with Power Rangers though, like the show, the reason why that can go on is like they just like cycle their audience out like probably every 3 years. They just get a brand new group of kids, and then every 3 years since like 1992, they've been cycling out. It's like we can keep going on. It's a show. It doesn't have to age with its audience. We can just start off with new characters once they get older. You know, it works. Nobody cares because the thing is, every kid watches it for 3 years and then they go into something else.
That's why I'm so surprised that it has a following still, like with adults.
And it's a humongous following. That's what blew me away.
Here's my question: is it like a following of like the first 1 or 2 generations of Power Rangers, or do adults still watch the new ones?
I think it's more that people have their generation.
Right.
It's like, what's your favorite SNL cast? It's the one when you were 13.
Yeah.
It's like, who are your Power Rangers?
Yeah,
really racist ones where it was like the Chinese bitch was yellow.
The Black Ranger
guy
was a black guy. Yeah.
And did you hear that the fucking Green Ranger got he pled guilty to like manslaughter?
That dude?
Yeah.
I thought it was the Red Ranger.
I thought it was a different Ranger.
No, I think it was the green one.
It's not the Green Ranger because unless this is like recent, because I ran into him many a times.
Within like the last week or two.
Oh,
Yeah,
last week or so?
And funny enough, he stabbed somebody with a sword.
I thought that was like one of the newer ones, was it?
Sword, like the Green Ranger fucking sword.
Really ironic is he yelled, "It's morphin' time" when he did it.
Yeah.
And
the,
then he
little like dragon thing just starts talking like, "Let's go!" You know, as he like stabs his roommate.
He had a
the dragon
conversation.
like fucking opens the door, looks in, he's like, "Come on, what's his name? Like David Frank? Come on, David, get out!" Like the dragon's just looking at him, like they get in the car, the fucking dragon's driving, like, "Can't you fucking fly?" He's like, "Not anymore."
It was Alpha 5. Alpha 5 was in the getaway driver, like,
Aye, the fuck did you do?
oh my god, there's so much blood!
We can't go back to a convention now. How are we gonna pay for everything? That's how we make money. Money's from the conventions.
You get the legs, I get the bottom, I get the top. Hey!
When we see Zordon, just tell him everything's cool.
We all know Billy doesn't bring in any money. Boy, I feel so bad for Billy. I feel so bad for him.
I heard his story. His story is actually kind of sad.
Well, this is how sad. I remember we were at a convention once, and they had the Green Ranger and the Blue Ranger there. And the Green Ranger had this line fucking going out the fucking door. People were excited and dressed up and cheering. And the Blue Ranger is literally right next door. Has absolutely nobody in his line. 0 fucking people. So he's literally watching a party next door that he should be a part of,
Right.
but nobody's showing up.
Well, he was the geeky one. Everyone's like, "Screw you, Donatello. We don't need your autograph."
Yeah,
You know-
we got fucking. The Green Ranger's got long hair. That just shows that he's that much cooler than everyone else.
It wasn't until this movie came out, this new one, that I realized how wrong the words "White Power Ranger" sounds.
Wow, Power Ranger.
Somebody put out like this GIF. It was like it showed a Blue Ranger's blue power, Green Ranger green power, and showed the White Ranger. Hi.
You ever see the Key and Peele skit that they did? That was Power Rangers.
Yeah. But like he's like, "Oh guys, I'm the Green Ranger." Like, no, you're the Black Ranger. That whole thing.
He's in the green pterodactyl. They're like, "Good job, Black Ranger." He's like, "God damn it, I'm the Green Ranger."
Well, that's almost like in this new movie. You're kind of going like, okay, the Black Ranger. Well, I mean, the Black Ranger that's the Blue Ranger. It gets confusing. Like, there's a reason why they had to name it back then, because it's confusing. Because you go like the Black character, but he's not the Black Ranger. So let me just clarify that. So as I'm talking about this character here, and then we got the Asian guy who's he's not yellow anymore. Now he's Black. It's just,
You saw the movie, Spencer?
Oh, I did. That's fucking awesome.
Is it good?
Dude, I thought it was amazing. Like, I thought it was really cool. And the thing is, even though it's an origin story, which we've seen so many times, that's about my only, like, slight kind of complaint. They do it really well still. Maybe they need that kind of gateway to get people in that, they know of Power Rangers, but they never really watched it.
Yeah, I got to admit, it's intriguing, but I'm just worried. Like, does the end just turn into a mishmash of bad CGI robots and stuff? Or is there actual good action in there?
There is cool action, I will say. I mean, I like the way that Power Rangers look in Generation 1. I think they're a little bit more defined, like in their kind of suits and robots and everything back then. I will say that's the one thing kind of, like you look at the Mastodon that the Black Ranger has. If I did not know that was a Mastodon from previous knowledge, I'd be like, what is that a beetle? What the fuck is that? Like, I can't tell what the fuck that's supposed to be. Like, what animal is that? It just like looks like this giant square with like a machine gun front coming out. And you're like, what the fuck is that?
It's a hipposaur.
Yeah, it could be anything. If you just say something random, that's probably what it is. But no, for the
You
most
guys
part,
can't
though,
see Lou.
I
Lou's
know, we
off
can't see Lou.
right now, giving a thumbs down to this whole movie.
I have no. We said in our last episode, I have no real desire to see it. It might be good, but I've seen too many origin stories, and Power Rangers isn't one of those things that's I've had like. I liked it when I was a kid. It doesn't really hold up for me.
Right.
Everybody I know that's seen it fucking loves the shit out of it. They think it's amazing.
What are you gonna say, Lou?
That every time someone says they want to see it, I'm thinking, have you never heard of like Voltron? That should be the
let me
thing.
Let me clarify though. When I say I want to see it, by no means do I plan on paying for it.
Right. Deal the fuck out.
That's a Netflix or like weird Russian website kind of thing.
I kid you not, though. I will say it's pretty darn good. I'd say it's worth seeing in theaters. Good. I like it that much.
How's Goldar? How does he look?
He actually looks pretty cool. Once again, it's that weird thing. Like, I feel like they could have a little bit more definition, if that makes any sense. Like, everybody looks everything has like sort of a solid look in Power Rangers. It's such a weird way to kind of say it, but like, how like when you watch the old versions of them, you could tell he's got the face and he's got the gold around him, and you can see like the black under the armor and all kinds of stuff like that. Where in this one, he's almost like a ginormous piece of gold.
He just looks like a gold covered piece of shit. In all honesty, in that trailer.
Yeah, almost like that. It's like that's the only thing is everything's so solid. It needs more like definition.
Do they have some like reason why there's this like this used to be a gold mine in town, and then all of a sudden just turns into Goldar or some shit like that? Or
pretty much actually, she literally rips the.
Guess that.
She literally rips the gold out of the ground, and that's what creates Goldar.
Oh.
I've been at that movie opening day if it was like the super serious origin story where these troubled teens and it's like, deep issues, and then by the end they're like, it's morphin time, and it's just guys in monster suits fighting. That would have sold it.
Darren Aronofsky's Power Rangers.
Exactly. It's like Cardboard City, guy in a rubber suit.
Right. If
that was like
silly, like
go ahead.
Statham movie.
Oh, like you ever see Crank 2?
Yeah, if it was that.
Oh my gosh, Crank 2 is one of the best movies of all time.
Where he gets electrocuted and it's Jason Statham with a big Jason Statham head on.
Yeah.
Just wrecking a cardboard city.
I could watch a whole movie of that.
I'd watch 2 movies. I'd watch a trilogy.
Right.
And just
I
boxing
remember I was
Godzilla.
bummed when Transformers came out because I was like, CG, that's fucking stupid. There should be guys in suits. And I mean, like, legitimately, I was like, no, dude, do it like a fucking Godzilla picture. That would be so much cooler.
I think there's something to be said about the charm of that. There was reasons I spent hours of my life watching Godzilla movies. Just guys.
And the Godzilla movies still hold up so fucking well. It doesn't make a difference which one you watch. It's like, a couple corny ones here and there. But for the most part, you still watch that. You're like, dude, you'll believe that that's a Godzilla fighting another monster. You don't think of it like, oh, it's just 2 guys in puppets like fucking slapping dicks together.
And the corny ones are, I would argue, sometimes better. When he's like bouncing on his tail to ninja kick another monster and then dancing, it's like, this is magic.
Yeah.
Or they
still stunt-wise, that's pretty talented.
Or they have him like his hands up in the air, kind of like like a T-Rex, and his foot just almost have wires kicking the other like dinosaur or whatever.
Exactly. This was the one flying drop kick he does in one of the movies. That's still like one of the best things ever filmed.
It's so awesome.
Like
Dude, he just
top
goes
that
flying
Scorsese.
across the fucking screen and just like kicks him.
I wish that 2014 one, where was it 14? Whenever it came out, that one that was just out. If he just did that move, better movie.
Well, I guarantee you because they're doing this whole Avengers verse of all these kaiju movies now. So I guarantee you at some point, like, all right, here's a deep cut for all the real fans. They're going to do that at some point.
Did you guys see fucking the new King Kong?
I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it. I just haven't got there.
Lou, did you see it?
No, not yet.
Oh, dude, you gotta
crazy,
that
crazy.
new King Kong movie, so fucking amazing. I kid you not. Like, go see that in theaters. He even has a scene in there for like a deep cut of King Kong versus Godzilla when King Kong fights a giant squid. He fights a fucking giant squid in this new one. It's so fucking badass.
I'm pretty sold right there. I want to see a big monkey.
That made me so happy when I saw that. I was like, dude, from fucking King Kong versus Godzilla, you got the giant squid. You know, because back in the old days, they just showed a picture of a squid, like, crawling, a real squid, and then it would cut to, like, a puppet squid fucking, like, coming at him, and then close shot again on the real squid.
You mentioned this monsterverse, but, like, what other monsters I'm guessing they're all Godzilla monsters after this.
Mothra, Rodan.
At the end of King Kong, they say the next one not only going to have Godzilla in it, but Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah, all right, I'm in for that. I want to see weird ones. I want to see Gamera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big turtle with jetpacks.
That guy is the most useless. He's only got one fan, chubby fucking Chinese boy.
Well, Gamera was friend to all children, Lou. That was his deal.
They're funny.
Yeah, but I think it's awesome just having fucking Rodan in and everything like that.
I wonder if Mothra is actually, if they're going to keep like the two little Chinese girls in the clamshell.
They better.
Anybody remember that?
Yeah, that's the most important part of the Mothra movie.
That's the best.
I'll be honest, I just know the Godzilla stuff. All the other stuff's like, oh, I know of that guy or character.
For whatever reason,
That's still a Godzilla movie.
there were these two little like thumb-sized Chinese girls that lived in a clamshell that were like I don't know what they were. They just sang. It was weird.
Well, they spoke to Mothra. They're like the ones that could like talk to Mothra. That was like the whole thing. It's like open it up, and these girls are like the ones like, oh, you need Mothra's help. You know, Mothra's just trying to defend her nest.
Oh.
Like, thanks, Japan. I have no idea what's happening.
You can put that after any Japanese thing, just about.
Yeah.
Well, you know what really makes those Godzilla movies like way better? Because you know, as a kid, you'd watch them off TV and VHS and so on. You'd only get the dub versions. Mm-hmm. Like the second that you can finally go out and pull the Japanese ones with the subtitles, it changes a lot of that stuff around and like kind of explains them so much better. It makes them, I feel like, makes the movies like 10 times better by that point. As a kid, you didn't fucking care because you just want to see Godzilla fighting. But once you want to get more everything else involved, it's like, dude, Japanese subtitle version is the way to go by far.
Yeah, and they never got the dubbing right. I know the American version of Godzilla vs. King Kong had this Japanese guy with a Texan accent that always just bothered me. He's like an oil man.
I forgot about that.
Well, they always had like these like, you know, noir actors. They must have been just fucking like 60 years old. And they're like, I can't get any other jobs now, but guess what? You go down and do the dubby pictures. Okay, I'll do the dubby pictures. That sounds about right. And then they go in, you got these guys like, what the fuck are they talking like in 1930s and 40s accents on these fucking Japanese and Chinese movies? It's like, it just must have been a bunch of out-of-work actors that couldn't find anywhere else to go.
Listen here, see, my tiger fish be your clawfish. Ah.
Well, that's the biggest Damagon I've ever seen.
I like those things. Like the old W ones where it's very clearly just like one or two dudes doing the whole cast.
There definitely is talent there.
Yeah, because even though they sound like they put the wrong emphasis on everything and their timing's way off, all of the meaning and the humor is still there. You get like an American team to do it, and it's like a completely different movie.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, like you were saying with the first Godzilla movie, they threw Raymond Burr in there for the American audience.
Oh yeah, the American just version.
Exposition. But if you watch a Japanese version of the movie, you got people huddled in basements as it's crumbling around them. Watch the American version, it just cuts to Raymond Burr just on a rooftop and like, now the monster is making his way downtown. This is quite a scene.
Man, you need like a Orson Welles type for that kind of movie.
Yeah, the Raymond Burr version's like, you don't really want to watch that one. It's like, no. It's like that was there so that like, you know, your grandfather back in the day could go like, oh God, you know, it's got a nice white boy in there. You know, you could trust that movie now. If it was all Japanese people, it would be like the war all over.
Yeah, this is 10 years after the war, so they were still like.
So yeah, it's like you got to have Raymond Burr in there, or else bad stuff's bound to happen.
Yeah. In fact, Godzilla's just a big allegory for post-war Japan.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, just like, hey, America, guess what you did to us?
yeah, we're real scared of nukes now. We're gonna make a monster that represents the horrible thing you did.
And then on top of that, they just like, people really like that monster. Let's just keep on throwing that fucking monster and more shit, So the thing they're so scared of becomes like their new like, there's like a thing like I think like 1 or 2 years ago, like Godzilla is officially a citizen of Japan. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like,
I
there's a
remember
big
when that
sword.
happened. That was a big deal.
They made him like head of tourism or something.
Like this way, like knocks the whole building over.
Whoops. Always plays it off like the slapstick comedy. I didn't mean to.
Ba-ba-ba-bong.
Yeah. Just smashing new paths through the city. Let me show you the shortcut. Boom.
Yeah, you don't want to eat there. That
Well,
food
Oh,
is
that
shit,
shop was
let
up
me
to go
tell you.
business anyway. Fuck him.
So I never.
Why does he talk like that? Well, they want to make him friendly to Americans. They make him talk like the Thing.
Hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you. Yeah.
Caught a little.
Yeah, there was a pause.
He sounded like a fax machine just now.
Oh, were you
What we-
saying Lou a second ago?
How does Mothra die? Because I'm really hoping in those movies, like just a big flame. He self-immolation.
His flew into the sun.
Yeah.
Just make a giant like bug lamp.
Right.
In the original, I remember Godzilla killed him, but then Godzilla was killed because Mothra had larvae that sprayed him down with webbing and put him in a cocoon and sunk him to the bottom of the ocean. I think he hit him with a rock.
That's
Yeah,
all.
because Mothra, the original Mothra was killed by Godzilla, and then there was the new Mothras that spawned, and I think at the very end of the movie, like they turn into Mothra again, so it's like Mothra's back, And Godzilla because I think that's the point where Godzilla wasn't a good guy yet. He was now he was in like the middle stages, because this is only like the third or fourth Godzilla movie is Mothra.
It was before he was defender of humankind, Godzilla.
Yeah, he's like, Godzilla, friend or foe?
Just smashing buildings like, there's a pal. Get him.
I don't know. I'm kind of pro Godzilla. I mean, I know he's taking out buildings, but you know what? I never liked that block of town. Nothing good there. I think it was good he took him
Well, he's
out.
creating a lot of jobs. You got to give him that.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of construction jobs.
Japanese cement going through the roof.
Yeah.
Well,
something we should actually mention, because I know you guys do it, but I never really hear it so much on your podcast. And I know Pete and I talked a little bit about it before the show got going. You guys actually create comics yourselves, right?
Yeah, we do some comic stuff. It used to be the three of us. It's since just kind of toned down a little bit to me and Lou still draw stuff and come up with our own thing. So yeah, we got a couple things in the pipeline.
Right on. And it's
because it's like I've seen a lot of like the drawings and so on throughout time, just on the internet, and ones that for certain jokes you'll do a little drawing for and everything like that. And I always liked the art style of it all. I always thought that was really cool. In fact, when I originally found the podcast, I kid you not, I looked at the picture you guys had. I'm like, that picture looks cool enough. They got to be a good podcast. That was all I needed to lead it in. I'm like, I like the picture enough.
you guys sent us a very awesome picture of Spritle hanging himself from a joke from our show, which I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's all Lou right there. What you're seeing with like the podcast icon and that picture, that's Lou gifted inks.
Very nice work.
Thanks, man.
But I kid you not, that was my gateway into Paint It Black.
Thanks, man. I was showing the logo to a kid because I just worked on my computer a lot, and then he's like, "Who's this guy?" I'm like, "That's me. That's me with the hat." "Who's this other guy?" "That's Pete, my buddy Pete." "Who's this lady?"
I'm sure Brian loved that.
That's when he had his long locks,
Yeah, he's since cut his hair.
Yeah.
He was like, well, after that one comment, I didn't know. I think it was time for a change.
It was like right after that he grew a beard.
Right.
Like, shit, I got to butch up.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a couple things going. I got 2 books coming out hopefully within the next few months. One's a reprint of the last book we did called The Seventh Fear. We're getting that recolored, some shiny new coat of paint on that one, and then my new book is Never Say Die, and that should be out. Hopefully, I'm hoping by July. I should have that.
Nice. And how long do you mostly go when you shoot to make out one?
Well, with the day job and everything, I kind of just I treat it like it is, like a hobby. So it normally takes like a year and I do everything on it, color, ink, pencils, all that. So it normally takes probably a solid year to get one done. You're working an hour a night, 2 hours.
Yeah. I know that's how it is. It's just kind of like I've come to the conclusion with projects. You just got to kind of go. You almost can't really give yourself a deadline. You can kind of give yourself one, but you got to go, hey, if you just put in, I always say even the bare minimum, if you could just get a half an hour in a day, at least that's always going to keep stacking up and you'll get closer and closer.
Yeah, I have a policy that pen has to touch paper once a day, and then I feel better. Even if it's like a couple lines, I feel better.
Yeah. Go in, color a couple things, you're good enough. As long as you just at least get something done, you're getting that 1% closer.
Yeah, I was listening to you guys like the other week. I guess it was like probably 2 episodes ago, maybe. But in my car, and you guys were talking about just the people who come to you with scripts and ideas, and they're like, "Hey, what do you think? You want to draw it?" And you're like, "Nah, unless you're paying." And they go, "Well, I thought you were an artist." And
I thought that's just what you did.
I just in my car alone, being like, "Fucking A, guys, I know, right?"
That's one of those ones, like, God, and that's always been how it is. Like, God, you tell somebody, like, back in the day when we were making a lot of, like, live-action movies and things like that, it's like people would come up to you and be like, dude, I got the story about a werewolf. And they just, I mean, they come from a good place. I think what they think in their mind is that, like, oh, my God, these guys, they make stuff. They're going to need content. I got an idea. I'll help them out. But they don't really realize, like, dude, fucking the ideas is, like, at the end of the day, the ideas is like the least important part because everybody's got fucking ideas. We all have fucking ideas. I got ideas. You guys all have ideas. We don't need somebody else's idea unless they want to pay us.
Absolutely. Yeah. I did a music video a couple of years back, and the guy, I did some animation for it, just silly bullshit stuff, but the guy got it in his head. He's like, "Oh, you're a comic guy. Hey, would you mind taking a look at a couple of these drawings?" And he had these concepts for, insert generic early 2000s era superhero, black leather guns, that kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, I'll take a look at your pictures. Fast forward a week, and it's like, I'm partnered on doing 6 books? How the hell did that happen? Cut ties with the guy completely, block him on...
See, now if he's paying you $5,000 a book, then that might be different, but...
Did he, like, announce it, like, on Twitter or social media or something, that you're like, you looked at it, so we're working together on this thing? Like that?
It was all over Facebook to the point where Brian, who, was in Paint It Black, was like, are you jumping ship with this guy? I'm like, no, this guy's just an asshole. He's just expecting me to draw his dumb, like, gun-toting generic guy for pennies.
Not Neo.
Yeah. And that's always the worst part, too, is they don't realize that, like, how much time and effort goes. I think that's the thing, too, is they just think it's like, oh, it must be fun. It's like, well, don't get me wrong, I'd rather do that than pretty much almost anything else in life. But at the end of the day, it's still fucking work. It's not like I'm sitting down watching a fucking movie, and not even taking notes, like, kind of like, I mean, it's like, it's just time and it's effort. And it's like, you can't just fucking, think you could pay somebody a couple nickels here and have it, like, all work out.
Yep.
Right, like people, like you talk to people about it, and for some reason, if it's creative, they don't think it has value enough to pay you. It's like, go to your fucking mechanic and ask him if he'll fix your car for exposure. See how well that works.
Yeah, I'll tweet.
Right. Like, well, how come it costs so much? I'm like, I went to school. I'm a professional, not some dickhead you found at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. I'm not gonna give myself carpal tunnel for your great idea.
I'll give you a shout out on Facebook.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones, too. And I think the nice thing, too, is just by doing freelance over the years, like, I actually have greater appreciation for everybody else's almost job because you kind of see, even like the mechanic, for example, you kind of see it's like, well, the reason why he charges that is because he had to go out and buy all these fucking super expensive tools that you're never going to own in your own garage. So, you can fix these certain problems on your car, and he's got to pay that back because the mechanic at the end of the day, even if he charges you $1,000, like, hey, fucker, rip me off. It's like, yeah, he gets in an old beater Ford and drives home. Yeah, he really ripped you off.
Yeah.
And then there's the people who are like, oh, can you show me how to do that? Like they want you to teach them, and it's like, no. Like,
here's Scott
Go to
McCloud's
fucking
making
school.
comics. Knock yourself out.
right,
Yeah. One book is all you need. Take that. Go from there.
right.
It's that kind of thing. It's like, hey, I sat down and read a copious amount of different things. You can do that too.
Exactly.
My favorite is always, too, as a comic book reader, it's like, I got this great idea. Then you're like, yeah, that Frank Miller, dude. You know, I got this awesome one. Like, yeah, they did that on a TV show. I know where you got that.
Or even just like, you sell stuff at these conventions, and the shit that people try to negotiate like you're a fucking gypsy or something. And it's like, like go to the supermarket and you try the shit that you do there. Like,
Yeah.
I was here last week. Like, do you think you'd give me this bread for like half off? Like, fuck you.
Yeah, I got for $1.99 last week, and now you got $2.99 on here. What the fuck's the problem here? It's like I got for $1.99. I'm a good customer. You know,
I'm just one
throw me a
dude.
bone here.
Not a big company. I can't afford to be giving.
I'll tell you
discounts
what.
Out for
I'll
nothing.
give you my firstborn daughter, if you illustrate my first book.
That sounds better payment than I've ever gotten.
Right.
A human soul.
Yeah.
I've always wanted an assistant. A secretary too to match. Okay, now little one, answer the phone when people call.
Yeah.
I was just thinking in context of just gypsy trading at a Comic Con. That's all.
Right. I want 7 beads.
Right.
All our magic.
They're like, I've
One of
collected
which is
these
cursive,
autographs
beware.
from other people. Here, could you trade for these?
Right.
No.
I like your supermarket thing. It's like, I'll pay for the 3 hot dogs in this pack.
Yeah.
That fourth one though, I don't want.
I don't know if I want 6 hot dogs.
Or my or my favorite when they just go up and they touch your stuff one by one and just say free, and then you say no, that's however much. The next thing, free. It's like no,
Yeah.
you have to pay for that. The third thing.
At our convention table, we may not move a lot of comics, but boy, do we move free flyers.
Right. And let me tell you, I mean, I don't want to sound like a racist, but it is overwhelmingly
Famous last words, by the way.
it is overwhelmingly Asians who do the free thing.
At
And
New
they,
York
they,
Comic Con.
they do it under the guise of me no speaking English, but that's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. I'm like, hey, you dropped that 20. You
Yeah,
they're looking
exactly.
on the ground.
He's like, oh, free? Like, no. Like, oh, okay. Walks away. Motherfucker. Just hear him muttering to himself.
Right.
So,
Like,
Well, it's probably because where they're coming, they're like, hey. Where we come from, people work in a sweatshop and make a manga, so you can have one every fucking couple months. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean? You want to get paid for this shit? No. You know, you make a Nike shoe, then you make a manga.
You work your way up to him.
right. They just use it as currency now.
yeah.
You think that one guy draws that whole book? No, it's one guy comes up with the idea, sits around, has a bunch of other guy works on it. You know what I mean? Just saying.
Believe it or not, some hours going to this shit.
Yeah.
I'll take $5, please.
Oh man.
Too much to ask.
Well, regarding convention stuff, because I'll be honest, I've only been to a convention once. And do you ever get like? Because I remember we went to a couple of different like stands. There's some guys who are like very aggressive. Like, this book is going to be worth something in like 2 years. Like, I'm looking at it, I don't have the heart to tell. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever get like turf war type shit? Like, you don't want to go check out those painted black guys over here. You want to come over here to Fist Knuckle Comics or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Not so much like that.
No, we haven't experienced that personally, but I mean, I've heard a lot of stories where you're next to some guy, and let's just say he's not as good as you, but whatever. You know, everyone's got their skill set. But I've heard about people being like, "Don't buy from them. There's $5 a piece. I'll give you for $4."
Yeah.
And they try to undercut or push their stuff into your space, like things like that. Like, there's some real dirty motherfuckers. Like, you know.
The worst beef I think we ever had at a con was just the table across from us kept playing the same song over and over for 4 days straight.
That was
The bodies hit the floor.
I wish. You could have raged out to that one.
was like
Every time they sell a book, yeah, just get amped up, just play that song.
Let the bodies hit the
Circle pit.
That would be pretty sweet. Like, fucking every sale you get, fucking everybody starts running and circle pitting it, like holding up like a $5 bill.
Everyone grab a Harley Quinn and dance.
You know, that's funny. Regarding that specific table, the music, it sounded like a really bad Evanescence cover band or something.
I think it was in Japanese, actually.
And then the table next to them, which we were talking about, like all that stuff looks familiar, everything, all those styles, all that shit was stolen.
It was all stolen art.
All of it. Because then later on, I'd seen pictures of those same two dudes and be like, look out for these two and report them, because every piece of shit they have is stolen.
And this is on the main floor of New York Comic Con. There's no vetting whatsoever.
Right.
And you know that happens all the time where people go out and they just kind of take a bunch of people's pictures off DeviantArt and then save, and then print out, hey, here's my top 50 ones I liked, and now I'm going to go sell them all.
You know what the new scourge is? You're selling prints and people just come up and snap a photo.
Yeah.
And they don't buy a print.
Mhm.
Like you actually have to stop people and be like, dude, no photos of the artwork. Because they'll just go print it themselves.
Yeah.
Heard about that one.
Yeah, or it's probably like, I didn't want to print anyways. I just want to have this picture so I can show my buddy.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes they'll come straight out and say that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my friend's ruling over.
Yeah, so
Can I take a picture of this? You're like, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
This was ours.
yeah, you take a picture of it. It's $5.
Right. Yeah. I'll give you the real thing for $4, but for a picture, $5.
Yeah. So, but $5 for a picture. Those are expensive, Takes a little bit of the soul out each time.
Yeah.
I'm kind of Native American here, just saying.
That's a thing to keep in mind for next time we go to a Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I know. At some point, me and Ryan keep saying, like, okay, next time we go to a con, we just got to get a little booth there
Someday.
and fucking sell some stuff. Well, for there's a period too where like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna put like a fucking TV up and like run our animations on a loop. Everybody's like, who the fuck are these two guys? Like, what the fuck is this rabbit cartoon? Why do I want to buy from them? It's like now it's like I think we got enough stuff we could kind of put up and actually have physical media. It's not so confusing.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much what you see at conventions. It's just you just got to catch their eye with something weird, and people go nuts over it.
And I feel too, it's like, you look at some of the other people's booths and you kind of judge them. Like, well, what you can do is you can do like a 50-50 blend. 50% of your stuff, and then you can just do 50% of just doing little cover art of like other things, because that seems to be like half of it. It's like, okay, here's something original, but if not, here's a picture of Cowboy Bebop that I drew.
Yeah, you have to do that. I know, like, people kind of talk down about that shit, but the original stuff, it does not sell unless you're huge.
Yeah, they've heard of you.
Right. Like, I had this original print. It took me, let's say I spent like 12 hours on it. I spent like 1 hour on this, Spider-Gwen thing, and it sold, 100 times more.
And I just haven't seen them both. The one that you were talking, the original piece is really fucking good.
Yeah.
By Spider-Gwen.
I drew it as like a sketch. I ended up just printing it up for shits and giggles, and people were like, this is amazing. Like, not really. Like, I just
all right, take it, $5.
It was a space filler because I didn't have that much that year.
Yeah,
like you can't.
Well, and I even feel too. It's like, when you do those other ones too, it's like, whenever I see people just kind of draw, I always kind of like just a generic comic book art. It's like, okay, there's Spider-Gwen, but that just looks like anybody's Spider-Gwen. I like when people kind of put that extra effort in, like, okay, here's a fucking weird version of Spider-Gwen that I don't think I'd ever see anywhere else.
Yeah, what people love is mashups.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh yeah, you can always put the mashup. That's an easy.
One
sell.
year after Comic-Con, me and Lou wrote down, like 20 properties that people like, put them in a hat. And I'm like, all right, I guess we're mixing Cowboy Bebop with Pulp Fiction.
Oh, that's an easy sale right there.
Like, that'll make $1 million right there.
See, that already sounds cool.
I just made that up now. Copyright Pete. That's me.
What do we got?
Yeah,
Clash.
I already want that. Whatever that is, I want it. I'm just saying.
Attack on Titan, Deadpool. Okay, we'll find a way to make that happen.
Done and done. That people would buy that.
So it's like, like one of the last. I did this drawing a while ago, but I did it. It was a Good, the Bad, and the Ugly mixed with Legend of Zelda.
Yeah,
nice.
I'd buy that. Shit.
And I was like, that's cool. Take a look at it. It's on my Twitter banner. It's right up on there. But yeah, it's like those mashups. I think it's an easy sell. And I thought about that myself too. I'm like, yeah, you just combine together. Fuck, you just use dice to fucking choose what you want.
Yeah, if you ever want the purest indication of what's going to really sell, just bring somebody who doesn't know what anything is to a convention and see what they stop and look at. Like a couple years ago, a girl I was dating went with me, and she just was like, Harry Potter. Anything Harry Potter mashed up with Star Wars. Harry Potter mashed up with Dragon Ball Z. She didn't know what it was mashed up with. She knew it had pot.
Yeah, there was a table like a couple spots away from us did so well. It was just a minion dressed up as whoever. And I was like, fuck, this is awful. This is terrible. Like, the
I fucking hate minions.
I don't know what it is, but those minions, I see one, I want to fucking strangle it. Like, I keep seeing that Despicable Me 3 trailer. And I'll say this, everything that's not minions actually looks kind of funny. It's got Trey Parker in it. I don't know, I've never seen any of the other ones, but it's like, okay, it's kind of funny. But then I see a minion, and I just get this like inner rage to beat a fucking Twinkie into the ground.
The thing is, you can't strangle it. It has those stupid fat necks. You couldn't get your hand.
Yes, you
around
grab it, your hands
it. So
slip
you just
off
have to
of it.
You have to drop kick it. Yeah.
Or
So
stab
you
it.
had. So what were you saying, Pete? Sorry.
I don't. I'm agreeing. I don't get the appeal of those things. They're not particularly funny. They don't speak.
I think this is one of those properties where like people. I don't think that most people have seen it. I don't think exactly like you see those young kids that go into Hot Topic, and they just gotta have Jack Skellington. It's like, dickhead, I don't think you saw the movie. You just like skeletons. This one has a smiley face on.
Right.
Like,
He's a happy skeleton.
That's a good point. Yeah. Is Nightmare Before Christmas still a big thing though? I mean, I know that when we were in high school, it had this huge comeback, but now it's like I'm wondering, is that still the go-to for a lot of goth kids?
I think so, but they don't know what it is.
I know some people of a certain age that still mid-30s probably who are still. You walk in their bathroom, it's Nightmare Before Christmas themed, and it's a bit extensive.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the movie.
Well, I
but
think there's a certain age range that, like, you know, when that movie came out, it's gonna be such a big deal. They'll be 90 years old and they'll still have that bathroom set up. But I just kind of wonder, like, how well that translates. I mean, obviously, probably like any other kind of like movie, you know, like any Disney movie. It's like, you know, we all fucking saw Snow White and probably seen it a bunch of times, though that movie came out in 32. You know.
Yeah.
So it probably holds up pretty well, and I'd assume that there is still people out there that definitely like gravitate really heavily towards things. And I always remember at the Comic-Cons, there was always fucking Jack Skellington somewhere along the way.
That's the thing with it, though. It's an okay movie.
Exactly.
It's not life-changing. It's about an hour long, you know? It's nothing.
It's weird. As a kid, I hated that movie. I kid you not. I thought it was like, I'm like, this is fucking stupid.
one of the things Spencer hates.
And it was weird, yeah, because it's like I actually have not watched it since I was a kid, and I keep going like, you know, one of these days I'm going to have to just sit down and watch it, because I'll probably appreciate it nowadays. But as a kid, like, I hated animation that was not kind of like serious looking, and I think it comes from watching like Batman and X-Men and all these ones. And when I say serious, I mean like the characters are like real human beings. They're not like goofy looking and odd. And I don't know what it was. It was like, that's why Nickelodeon never appealed to me. And that's like, when I saw Nightmare Before Christmas, like, I did not like that weird look. Kind of reminded me of like, what's fucking Jack and the Giant Peach. I didn't like that one either. And it's not the claymation part. It's just the animation, the way it looked. I never liked that.
It's that Tim Burton-y kind of trying real hard to be weird kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is. Like, nowadays, like, I go, okay, I appreciate it for what those things are. But as a kid, it fucking, like, hated that stuff. Hated creativity when it went outside the realm of like, no, you stick to a boundary here.
Right?
Don't think outside the box.
There's no way that skeleton would wear a suit.
Yeah.
Screw this movie.
And that fucking
Yeah.
he peaked so quick. Tim Burton.
Oh, yeah.
And then everything else is like, can you just stop fucking stuff up?
Just it's always Johnny Depp in a silly hat with music by Danny Elfman.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, did we really have to look at Helena Bonham Carter again? Like, she is just like ugly hot.
Well,
Saying like, I don't know if I want to fuck you or slap you.
yeah, exactly. One of those. What do you think was like the last like really good Tim Burton movie you can think of? Like the one that was like the last time you're like, oh fuck, that actually was a pretty cool movie.
Probably,
Oh, Edward Scissorhands.
I would go Big Fish, maybe.
I mean, I can think of movies.
Yeah,
I've
Big
seen.
Fish is really fucking good.
Big
Yeah.
Fish was good. I can think of movies I've liked that he's come out since then, but nothing that's blown away. Like Big Eyes was enjoyable. Didn't blow me away none.
I didn't even know that was a Tim Burton movie.
Same thing here. Yeah.
He's got those random weird ones that don't seem to. Ed Wood, doesn't match his MO, but it's a good movie.
Well, yeah, and Ed Wood, I consider that his best movie because that movie's one of those movies where I think it's pure perfect. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that film. I mean, if you wanted to, you probably could really pick it apart and find something small, but it's just one of those ones like from beginning to end, fucking perfect story. Fucking everything about it's just fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's a great movie, and it's devoid of his silliness. That's what makes it.
Yeah.
Like if he just got away from just Johnny Depp looking like a pederast, he's doing okay. Huh? But you got to put him in white face paint with a dumb hat and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll be 100% honest. When I first heard he was making Alice in Wonderland, before I knew anything else about it, I just heard Tim Burton, Alice in Wonderland. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And I didn't know it was Disney. I thought it was gonna be some weird, creepy, darker version. That'd be cool. Then I heard it was Disney. Then I'm like, Johnny Depp, he's gonna be the Mad Hatter. I know it. Like Johnny Depp is the Mad Hatter. He's fucking Mad Hatter before they even announced it. And then I'm like, chances are he's gonna make him the main character. Makes him basically the main fucking character, even though he's a guy he just passed by in the main story. So
and forget Helena Bonham Carter.
With a big,
Yeah. God damn, you're not even married. You're not even married anymore. You don't have to, you don't have to marry this bitch. Let it go.
Well, in the divorce, she had to still be in every single one of his movies.
It was in the prenup.
It was contracted
settlement
because nobody else was going to hire her.
Like, oh my God! Like, if ever there was a star that didn't make it on their own, it seems.
She's got some good movies.
Does she have a movie that?
Like Fight Club?
Oh, that one. But
Yeah.
also, I heard that she has stunt tits in that.
Probably. That sounds about
Stunt-
right. That's very common.
Come on, lady.
Let's take a real personal offense to this.
I mean, like, she has so many movies that are either Tim Burton, Johnny Depp, or both. And then the few that, one or two that aren't. And that's it.
One that kind of surprises me, there's actually this thing, I just saw an article on it somewhere. There's actually, you could see someone full on naked in a movie, but on set, they could be wearing, like, I don't know, green circles over their tits, and then just CG in fake tits. It's like, you can't tell. Why would you even bother? Apparently, it happened like an Olivia Wilde movie. Happened in another big actress. It's like, really, that's a thing. I mean, you can't really tell from looking at them.
Well, it in the olden days used to be that like you could always tell because the shot that they would choose is that you would see the face and then it would cut and then you see the chest and it's like the cut would give it away. But it's funny how a lot of people that aren't in the movie making they go, oh no, that is. What do you mean that's not her? It's like, well, the shot right there, that clearly is how I do it. That's the fucking stunt tits, stunt cock, stunt whatever. Or, when somebody's, you think of like the Doors movie when like Jim Morrison's ass is there. Well, it's not Val Kilmer because you see just his back. It's somebody else in there. It's a stunt ass.
Right.
But it's weird though when they have a full body shot on screen. Like, I'm going to be on basically naked, but let's just like CG tits over that. Like, that just seems so like no one's going to know the difference right there.
Well, in
case,
like she is just so crack hoary looking. I bet she's got like this nasty like banana tits.
I think she got cockeyed nipples. One's looking left, one's left.
Got those like
Just self-conscious about it.
where it like
that's probably like, well, we need a stunt one here for Fight Club. Sorry, just saying.
One's looking right in the camera. It's
Right.
distracting.
I think he just winked at me.
Yeah.
They've just broke the fourth wall. Next thing you know, it's gonna be like Woody Allen's gonna start fucking narrating.
He's gonna stop the progress and be like, "Join me over here for a second."
Yeah, like starts shuffling you off screen. Okay, I mean, I know you got Brad Pitt here and Edward Norton. I know it seems like fucking weird and everything, that I'm fucking both of them. But you know what? They are the same fucking person. Get over it. Just fucking get over it. That's what the movie is. Okay, let's get back to the picture.
Yeah, for some reason, this is about soap.
Yeah,
Credit
fucking
card
soap. It's
companies.
important. You got to be clean. You don't want to get infected now, do you?
They're like, Fincher, you really sure you want to keep that? Fuck yeah, that's art. That's staying in the picture.
What, you don't like fucking Woody Allen?
Woody Allen's
Oh,
Fight
well,
Club.
yeah, I guess I do like.
Now there's a mashup.
Yeah, I like to see that. I love fucking Woody Allen mashes. We had one we talked about on the podcast. We're like, dude, what if Woody Allen just directed the next Batman movie?
Oh, that'd be weird.
Just Bruce Wayne, a midlife
It's just more about
crisis.
Bruce
Like,
Wayne kind of having like this, just going through like, I like these different girls, but I'm not too sure which one I want. And it's like he still has like the fucking Woody Allen voice because Woody Allen just finds actors who are pretty much him but younger to kind of play. Kind of like, Midnight in Paris, you got Owen Wilson. He's pretty much just playing Woody Allen.
Yeah.
Or the newest one had Jesse Eisenberg.
I think I like this girl.
And
I
it's
don't
just
know.
kinda
She
like-
dresses like a cat. I don't know what to make of it.
there's the plant lady, there's the cat lady, and then there's just this 14-year-old girl over here. I don't know.
And I got a 14-year-old boy standing next to me. And, I don't want to say I had these thoughts about it, but they crossed my mind. It's like there's like no action in the movie whatsoever. It's just like fucking just this life of just Bruce Wayne / Batman, like piddling around the cave, going out. He's like having conversations in cafes and everything like that. Nothing too exciting.
Black Mask has attacked the Gotham Bank. I don't know if I'm feeling the mood today, Alfred. I'm just not, I'm not in the right headspace for it.
He wears that mask. It's like scary and weird.
Reminds me of Halloween when I was a kid. It was a bad time.
He's just in a cafe on the Upper East Side.
In a suit.
at some point.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's just grooming the next Robin.
I don't watch I'd also watch a Batman directed by like Wes Anderson or something like that.
Now that guy's good.
Yeah, but can you picture him doing a quirky superhero movie?
I mean, not really, but I'd watch it. The only one of his I don't really like is Moonrise Kingdom because of the weird adolescent makeout sesh. It's like
It's one of those scenes. It's like, oh, they went there.
Like these two, and he's feeling her up. It's like, like
It just, well, the thing too is like when you picture it, it's like, okay, that's what you see on the screen, but you pull back and you just see a bunch of guys standing around fucking holding microphones and cameras huddling around this scene. And that's what makes it fucking weird.
Oh God, that just unnerved me.
I never saw
And
that.
then there's just
movie,
one guy in the corner jerking off like, Tom, stop fucking jerking off. Jesus Christ.
Well,
Save that for the trailer. You know what I mean? Save that for home. God
I know
damn
if
it.
like he did do the next Batman movie, the whatever Batmobile like chase scene would just be like miniatures going through a little cardboard city.
Of course, and then Batman hops out in a tweed suit while like someone
Converse, yeah.
right while the Bat theme plays on ukulele.
See, this would become a fun movie if you did like an anthology for Batman, and where you just got 6 very creative directors to make just little 20-minute pieces in it, and then mash them all together, just so you can kind of get an idea of like what all these random directors who probably would never be allowed to direct a movie like this give it a go.
There you go. So we nailed 2: Woody Allen, Wes Anderson. I'm on board for this.
Yeah.
Something needs.
I'd love to see Tarantino do it. I know that sounds like such not like he would go there, but it'd just be so fucking interesting. Like, let him have the role for a bit.
well, he wanted to do
Green Lantern.
Luke Cage.
Oh yeah, he wanted.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right.
Like
He wanted to do Luke Cage?
Yeah.
like as a
Yeah,
set-
he said that on the Nerdist podcast. I wanted to say, or something
Really?
like that
I
when he was
missed that.
interviewed.
Oh wow.
do it like Black Dynamite style or some shit.
yeah, real blaxploitation 1970s
Mhm.
gritty.
Jive sucker shit. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Where's my money, honey?
See, that'd be fucking awesome. It's just like, I think it's one of those ones, like, because, you know, whenever they grab directors generally to do superhero pictures, they pick either kind of odd, artsy directors or sort of guys that are like, you know, they do a good job, but they kind of have been in something that would never gear you towards like an action movie. So I think it would be kind of interesting to take almost like sort of bigger directors like a Tarantino, or even somebody like get a fucking Steven Spielberg, slap him on that anthology, see what he comes up with, you know?
That'd be the most like beautifully shot. It's like young Bruce Wayne coming into his own kind of movie. Befriends an alien.
Yeah, he befriends an alien, leaves
Martian
everybody else's
Manhunter.
life behind, just says, fuck the kids, fuck the wife, I'm going to space.
Yeah, it's Martian Manhunter just eating Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, or let it be like a DC, like, you know, it could be anything DC. Maybe there's like one Batman in there, there's one Martian Manhunter. Just let them pick whatever character they want to make just some 20-minute movie and slap them all together and put them in the theater.
I'm very much on board with this. That sounds great.
You know, I just think there's all kinds of cool directors out there. It's like, why not? Like, give them a go. Let them have a chance. Why not?
Edgar Wright would be a good one to throw in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say he would be awesome to have.
What are you saying, Liv?
I like this movie. It's from I want to say early 2000s maybe. But the whole thing about it was it's like this kind of post-apocalyptic thing. It's called The Signal. And don't get it confused. Another Signal.
Yeah, not the modern
not the
one.
newer one.
Mhm.
It's slightly older, but it's got 3 parts, and then each part is done by a different director. And so they're all it's all the first part's like very serious. The second part is like super funny, and the last part is like kind of like a mind fuck thing, but it works so well. Definitely recommend that.
Is that the one where there's some kind of like frequency going, and like one and two people is going to go crazy and kill the other?
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to see that. I haven't got a chance to yet though.
It's really good. Super good.
Yeah, they did a recent one, maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, with like Larry Fishburne.
Yeah, but there's one before that from we were in college, I think, when that came out. So
Yeah.
early 2000s. That definitely worth checking out.
Super good.
You can tell it's old when
Oh, that's-
my memory is Lou lent me the DVD.
Right. And they like
See, that's pretty cool.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were like, I mean, more than now. Was super into watching like stupid, shitty movies, and Phantasm is like a stupid, shitty movie. It's funny though, so funny. Like going back and watching that, there are so many fuck ups and like bloopers And it's like, who's editing this? There's one part where like these guys are, I think they're running away from like killer bees or some shit, and the kid is he's going down the steps way too fast. He trips completely, eats shit. He slams through like the guardrail. Like, it's and then he comes out. Yeah.
Is it like Room Bab?
It's no, because that guy is a fucking moron.
Yeah, it's like an old 70s horror flick. So
Yeah.
Okay, that has a little more wiggle room then.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is more just, I think, time and probably budgetary things
And
too.
I say it all the time on our show, but it has my favorite line reading in the history of movies, and that's the guy who's gonna bang girlfriend in the cemetery, and he opens up her shirt and goes, "Wow."
That is such a grindhouse like movie reaction. Like we just got Ted because the other guy fell through. He had to go to work. So come on in, just say this line.
Yeah.
You just saw tits. Do I get to see tits? No, you don't get to see tits because the girl doesn't know you. She doesn't trust you. But react like you just saw tits. Wow, it's great. Okay, moving on.
Not good enough. Print it. It's not worth shooting it again.
Good enough. We got it.
Right, and it's what's really funny about that series is there's a kid in the first one. He can't be more than like 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's in every one of them to the point where he like lost all his hair and shit.
Yeah, they made like 5 of these things.
Yeah, brutally ridiculous, but it's so funny.
It's called The Phantom?
Phantasm.
Phantasm. Okay, I'm going to look this shit up. I've heard the name.
Just some old lanky dude who's got like death balls or something.
It sounds way weirder when you call it.
Death balls. So this is just has a sack hanging out of his like robes the whole time or something, or just like he has these 2 bowls, or just get like magic bowls or whatever.
Like these like metallic spheres are doing a majority of the killing.
You know what they look like? The golden snitch from Harry Potter.
Yeah,
Except they drill into people's heads.
yeah,
And his assistants are Jawas.
yes.
You know what? I think I've seen screenshots and like clips of this randomly like through YouTube.
If you've ever heard of the tall man, he's
Yeah.
the bad guy.
It's like Slender Man when he was still alive, I guess.
When he had a face.
Yeah, yeah. He has only one expression,
Grumpy.
like a Forrest Whitaker style, one eye closed slightly, frowny face.
Like Uncle Ruckus.
Yeah.
Kind of like Uncle Ruckus, only not screaming about black people being there.
He's just chasing kids with killer balls.
Yeah.
I gotta check this shit out. Thank you. So you introduced me to Six String Samurai and Phantasm. So.
And you're welcome.
Exactly.
So many laughs to be had right there, and I think that's the perfect place to put a pin in it. This episode was a big episode. We were having so much fun, and it, got to the point it's like, hey, we're splitting this in half. We're going to make a little 2-parter thing. But make sure to also check out Paint It Black podcast with Pete, Lou, and also Brian. If you remember him from a couple episodes back, we had him on too. Their podcast is Paint It Black. Look it up on anywhere podcasts are. Podbean, iTunes, all kinds of fun places there. And then also check out their comics as well. So, till next week, we will see you later. Thanks for listening to the Old Man Orange podcast. Check out our website at oldmanorange.com for even more podcasts, cartoons, videos, music, and more. Send us an email at oldmanorangepodcast@yahoo.com. Be sure to subscribe, share, rate, and review us on iTunes, Podomatic, or any of the other fine sites we might be located on. And if you want to help out even more, click on the Amazon or GameStop links on our webpage before you make any purchases there. Won't cost you a penny, but it sends us a little something our way. Thanks for listening, and tune in next week to Old Man Orange.